Hey, what's going on guys? RageTrain here and welcome back to another episode of the Hypixel Skyblock series, guys. And very quickly before I get into the stuff that we're going to be doing in today's episode, I just want to quickly say to you guys, thank you very much for the support you showed on the last episode. That episode did very well. I'm super glad to see that you guys enjoyed it. And so I just want to also say, if you guys are enjoying this series and want to keep up to date with it, make sure you do subscribe to my channel and also consider turning on post notifications for my channel so you guys can see right when I upload a video, and also because I am planning on streaming these Slayer quests a lot over the next week or so you guys will be able to see when those live streams go up as well. But yeah guys, today's video is obviously once again going to be centered around the brand new Slayer update that Hypixel dropped a couple days ago, and I'm just going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks that I have learned over the past couple of days for fighting each of the 3 different types of Slayer bosses that will hopefully help you guys out if you've been having any sort of trouble at all fighting any of them, because I will tell you, before I started doing these things, I was having a ton of trouble fighting these bosses, but I have been having a much better time doing it now. So I'm just going to start off with some general tips that will apply to like all the different Slayer bosses, and then what I'll do is get into like specific strategies and like little traps you can get the bosses into for each individual boss. But now to start off with the general tips here, you are going to want to make sure that if you're planning on fighting anything higher than a tier 2 boss, you're going to want to make sure you have at least a decent armor set and weapon. So now you probably could have a little bit of lower tier gear than I have, but honestly if you go too much lower than this, even on the tier 3s, you're going to definitely be struggling. But just for reference so you guys can see what I'm going to be using throughout this video, I have a strong dragon set. It's half reforged to godly and half reforged to zealous at the moment, and then my weapon is this spicy aspect of dragons. So once again, you don't necessarily need to be this geared out, but if you're not rocking at least some sort of mid-game set, you're going to be struggling a lot even with all these tips I'm about to give you guys. But the next general tips for fighting bosses here is you definitely want to get your hands on a Wand of Healing first, and then upgrade that to a Wand of Mending that you can see I have right here as soon as possible. And the reason you want these things is pretty obvious. It just allows you to get extra healing. You can see the Wand of Mending here heals for 30 health every second for 7 seconds, and it only has a 1 second cooldown, so you can pretty much use this infinitely as long as you have enough mana to keep using it. Now you will actually have to complete some Revenant Horror Slayer quests in order to unlock these wands. The regular Wand of Healing, which obviously is not as good as this Wand of Mending here though, but is still, you know, good enough to help you at the lower levels, is unlocked at Zombie Slayer level 1, so I think you would actually unlock this already if you just did like a tier 1 or tier 2 Revenant Horror boss. And then the crafting recipe only requires 16 Revenant Flesh and a stick, so once again, if you kill like 1 or 2 tier 1 or tier 2 Revenant Horror bosses, you should be able to get this thing almost immediately. Then the Wand of Mending, which is the one I'm using, which is obviously just an upgraded version of this Wand of Healing, is unlocked at Zombie Slayer level 3 and has a bit more of an expensive crafting recipe. You will need to already have the Wand of Healing. You're going to need 12 enchanted dark oak wood, and then you're going to need 1 Revenant Viscera, which the Revenant Viscera is crafted with 2 stacks of Revenant Flesh and half a stack of enchanted string. So like I said, Wand of Mending is a little bit more expensive to craft than the Wand of Healing, but trust me, if you can afford it, that extra 10 health per second is definitely helpful for these bosses. Now the next general tip here is probably the most important one. This item will make all the difference when you are fighting Slayer bosses, trust me, okay? I will show you in a second here. This item single-handedly allowed me to be able to solo tier 3 Revenant bosses. And the item, of course, is the one I'm hovering over right now. This is the Radiant Power Orb here. But seriously, before I started using this thing, I could not solo a tier 3 Revenant boss. Like, I just could not do it. But now that I've unlocked this thing and use it every single time I fight one, I have 0 issues taking them down. And obviously you guys can see the description here. What this thing does is once again provide some more healing for you, and it heals 1% of your max health per second for 30 seconds. Once again though, to unlock the recipe for this, you are going to have to do some Slayer quests. This one is unlocked by killing those Sven Packmaster bosses, and once you get to Wolf Slayer level 2, you will unlock this recipe. And this one honestly is pretty cheap to craft. It takes 16 Wolf Tooth, which are a drop from the Sven Packmaster boss, and 8 enchanted emeralds, which are not hard to get at all. And then if your gear setup is pretty similar to mine, like you're rocking a dragon set and you have like an aspect of dragons or maybe like a pigman or leaping sword or something, then just having these 2 items will definitely be enough for you to solo the tier 3 Revenant bosses. But if your gear setup is not quite as good as mine is, then you're probably going to have to go a little bit of an extra step in order to be able to solo these bosses. And what you would want to do is brew some of these Regeneration 7 potions, and I'd say if you do that, you'd probably be good to go. And the good thing about Regen 7 potions is they are not expensive to brew at all. If I head over to the recipe here, you'll see it's just 1 enchanted gas tier on an awkward potion, and then you apply an enchanted glowstone dust to that, and you will get yourself a Regeneration 7 potion. But yeah, in order to quickly demo this stuff out for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and start up a Revenant Horror tier 3 quest here. I'll grind out the zombie combat XP really quickly, and then I will be back when I'm ready to summon in the boss. Alright, so I think the boss should either spawn in with this kill. Yeah, right here. Okay, here he comes. So I'm gonna throw that down, place down my orb here, and you guys will see here I'll be able to take this damage, no problem whatsoever. I am having a little bit of trouble hitting him. He's going all over the place. If you can get him to not move as much, it's definitely easier. But yeah, you can see I'm healing up the health as pretty much as fast as he is able to do it. He is hitting pretty hard here. You can see I'll get down about 200 health every once in a while, but definitely not enough where he's actually going to be able to kill me as long as I have that Radiant Power Orb going right here. But yeah, there we go. We got the kill on him, and this time he dropped an Undead Catalyst for us, which is kind of a rip drop because people get it for free from hitting Slayer level 1 or 2, I think. So now that I've demoed that stuff for you guys really quickly, I want to go ahead and show you a specific tip for the Revenant Horror. Now, I'm actually going to demo this one on a tier 3 boss once again, but it will actually apply mostly to when you're fighting tier 4 ones. But the reason I'm not going to demo it on a tier 4 boss is because even with this strat I'm about to show you guys, I would still need like 1 or 2 people to help me kill it. So yeah, I'm once again going to grind up this zombie combat XP, and then I'll be back to show you guys the strat. Alright boys, so for this strat, you're going to farm the Crypt Ghouls until you're about 1 or 2 kills away from summoning the boss. Then you're going to head over to the Deep Caverns here, come down to like the Lapis Quarry area, or you could also do it in like the Diamond Reserve. Basically the only like requirement is that there's zombies in the area because you're going to have to kill a couple zombies here to actually summon the boss. And there actually are too many people in the Lapis Mines here right now, so I'm going to go do it at the Diamond Reserve. But then the strategy here is to lure the last zombie that you kill into the like mine shaft area here. Kill it in here, and then the boss will spawn in here, and you can actually lock the boss in here and kill it. Now, I am just remembering now that you are actually supposed to do this strategy with another person fighting it with you, because usually you want your friend or whatever to lure the zombie into here, and your friend stays in like the little lift elevator here while you sit out here and kill it. Okay, we got 2 guys here, so one of these ones should hopefully do it for us. I'm assuming the next one's gonna do it. If these skeletons would stop spawning, it'd make my life a whole lot easier. Okay, that'll do it. And boom. Okay, we got him in there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Then you're going to obviously want to use the same strategies as before, but you actually cannot place the Radiant Power Orb too close to an NPC. So the best spot for it is like right back there. It'll still heal you up. You don't have to worry about being super close to it. It'll still get you with its healing powers from over there. But yeah, then the Revenant boss is just stuck in here. He can't like come follow you while you're standing out here, and it makes this fight a lot easier. Like I mentioned though, this actually is not really necessary for like the tier 3 that I'm fighting right now, but on a tier 4 it would definitely be necessary because those things can like 1 or 2 shot you. You can see this boss fight is like laughably easy right now. He actually is enraged right now. But that's all good. We got him anyway. But yeah, that's all there is to that strat. Once again, like I said though, it is much better to do with a friend, especially if you're fighting a tier 4, because being stuck in the lift elevator with a tier 4 for even a second or 2 could potentially be what kills you. So with the tier 4 ones, you gotta be very careful. But yeah, that should about do it for strategies for the Revenant Horror boss. So let's move on to the Broodfather. Alright guys, so with the Broodfather boss, this was actually the one that I was having by far the most trouble figuring out how to solo the tier 3s. I could like not for the life of me do it. I kept dying and dying, but finally I managed to find a combination of like items and strategies or whatever that have helped me out a lot, and I have now had no trouble soloing these tier 3 bosses. And the things that helped me out for this one very much were potions. So like I mentioned earlier, regeneration 7 potion, if you're having trouble soloing any boss, is like that's definitely one of the first things you want to make sure you're using, because it'll just help you heal up way faster. But then for this boss, I also started actually brewing strength 5 and critical 3 potions, just because it'll help me kill the boss faster, right, because I'm doing more damage. But then in addition to that, because of the lifesteal 3 enchantment on my sword, doing more damage in turn will also help me actually heal up fast. So for this one, I'd say a regeneration 7 potion is definitely 100% needed if you're going to be soloing the boss. And strength 5 and critical 3 potions are going to kind of be optional, just depending on how good your gear setup is. I mean, really, you can just try out one of these boss fights for yourself, and if you can't solo it without these potions, then go ahead and brew them. Or if you have no problems, you know, the first time doing without the potions, then there's no point in wasting your time brewing them if you don't need them, right? And then unlike the Revenant Horror, unfortunately with this boss, there's no like good area to trap it here at the Spider's Den. If you're fighting this with a group though, there's a little pit to the right of the hub island. You actually don't want to go to this first one here. It's actually the second one to the right of the hub island. This pit right here. If you can get the boss to go all the way down there, and then you get one of your friends to take the aggro of the boss, and then you kind of just walk up back these stairs so that you're not taking the damage from it, that'll make the boss a lot easier to fight. But in my experience, trying to solo the boss at that location was not working very well at all, and I've actually had the most success just kind of like getting into like an area in this little walkway here and getting into the corner. And it was actually another YouTuber's video I watched that was suggesting to fight the boss in that little tunnel right there, so I want to make sure I give him credit. His name is Michael Plays, and I'll link link his channel in the top line of my description to make sure I'm giving him proper credit. So make sure you guys check him out. He makes some pretty good videos. But yeah, I'm 1 or 2 kills away from summoning in the boss here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pre-drink my potions. You wanna make sure you drink your potions before you get into the fight because the bosses do a lot of damage and you don't wanna be trying to drink potions while you're fighting the boss. So this guy actually has his spawned in right now. Let me go ahead and wait for him to kill his so we don't have 2 bosses going at the same time. Yeah, next spider I see. Okay, that should spawn mine in. Run, run, run. Okay, this is not good, this is not good. But here we go. Just kind of get into corner here. I'm not in the corner I wanted to be in, but this should be good enough. I think with my potions and the radiant orb all placed down, I should be able to take this guy out. He does have a lot of health though, so you're gonna have to make sure you're doing as much damage as possible. Oh, he got me pretty far away from my orb here. I mean, this one's just tough, guys. There's no other way to get around it. But hopefully, if you use all the things in combination, you can heal up fast enough here. You can see I'm hanging in there so far. Now that my radiant orb is about to go down, it's going to get a little bit more difficult. Hopefully I can place one down again, okay? But you got to stay focused with this one, especially if you're soloing it. If you have some help with it, it makes it a little bit easier. But if you're soloing it here, you got to stay focused to make sure you don't drop to it. Because if you die, you wasted all that time getting up there. Boom, we got ours down. I think these guys helped me out a little bit. But I was able to tank that damage pretty well. Jeez, I'm getting terrible drops from these Slayer bosses today. This time, I got toxic arrow poison from this Broodfather, which is like probably the worst drop I could have gotten from him. But yeah, with that boss, there's really no place you can trap it or anything so that it can't hit you or something like that. You really just have to like drink pots and all that stuff so that you can just tank out the damage. Alright guys, so now for this Sven Packmaster boss, actually thankfully like the Revenant Horror boss, there are some really good spots for this one that you can go to and spawn it in so that it can't hit you really. But the spot that you want to use for the boss is actually going to depend on whether you're solo or you have a team with you. So if you have a team with you fighting the boss, you're actually going to want to head to the back of the ruins over here towards this little ledge. And let me see if I can actually kind of demonstrate how it works with one of these regular mobs. But yeah, basically I missed a jump there. But what you're going to want to do is get up on that little ledge right here, and then the boss won't be able to hit you. You can kind of see it does work with these mobs as well. They all kind of just bunch up right here as they're aggroed on me, but they cannot hit me. Now, one thing that you actually do want to make sure of here though is every once in a while, you want to jump down and let the boss hit you, because otherwise, if it doesn't hit you for long enough, it'll either start regenerating health really fast, or if it's in protected mode, it'll actually teleport up to you. But yeah, I guess that's actually a tip that I forgot to mention with the other bosses as well. If you don't let those hit you, none of them will actually teleport to you, but they will start regenerating really fast if you don't let them hit you every once in a while. Now, if you're doing the boss solo like me, there's actually a different spot you're going to want to go to. You're going to want to come up those stairs here, hop down here, and then you're actually going to want to head over to these vines here. And basically, similar to the last strategy, what you want to do is get to the top of the vines and crouch so that you're high enough up where the boss can't hit you. I've also gone ahead and just drank a regeneration 7 potion just to be safe with this boss, because even though it's not going to be hitting you most of the time, this one can still do a lot of damage, so you got to be careful. But yeah, now we should be all set up to go to the fight. We just got to actually spawn it in now. So let me go ahead and get back to that spot. There are plenty of wolves waiting here to attack me for me to be able to spawn it in. So I think, okay, that one should do it. Okay, and there he is. So we let him hit us. I'm actually should probably toss the radiant orb down as well so I can heal up from that. Yeah, actually, he's stuck in a really nice spot for us right now. That is actually not the way the strategy is supposed to go, but this is actually working out really great for us. We're having no issues here. Okay, there we go. Now we're having issues. Now we're having issues. Oh no, oh no. Gotta get back up to the vine. Okay, so that's where you want to get up here and start healing up. He's got his pups in. I think I'll actually use my bow to try and take those out. But yeah, this guy is definitely not like the tier 3 Revenant Horror where you can just like tank out the damage. You're definitely going to want to be avoiding the damage as much as you can. You can see I got him down here pretty low. I want to make sure he gets a hit on me so that he doesn't just TP up to me, but boom, we took him out there. And we finally got a pretty decent drop. We got like 50 something wolf teeth there, which is very, very nice. As long as you have decent armor, you can probably even solo a tier 4 Sven Packmaster using that strategy right there. But if you're going to be doing tier 4, you have to be very, very careful with letting it hit you, because that thing will definitely be able to 1 or 2 shot you, even if you have like crazy good armor. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I'm really, really hoping it was, because I was having trouble fighting these bosses. I was like, dude, I can take on the tier 2s, but as soon as I get to the tier 3s, I'm just getting destroyed. What am I doing wrong here? So I talked to some people, I did some research on the forums, I did some research on YouTube, and this video was basically just like a compilation of all the information I was able to find. And speaking of that, I know I already gave a shout out to Michael Play's YouTube channel, but I also want to go ahead and give a shout out to my friend Captain Crunch's YouTube channel, because he helped out with teaching me some of the strategies that I showed you guys in this video. So I will link him in the description of the video as well, so make sure you check both of those guys out. But But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If there are any like tips or strategies that I missed that you guys know of, please do let me know of them in the comment section down below, and then maybe I can show those off in a future video to help you guys out with that. So make sure you guys drop a like on the video if you did enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already and want to keep up with this Hypixel Skyblock series. Obviously, with this new update coming out, I am grinding out videos as frequently as possible. I'm trying to have a video out for you guys every single day, and on the days where I don't have a video out, I'm going to be doing my very best to have a stream out for you guys for those days. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, make sure you turn on post notifications if you don't want to miss those live streams. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in my next video, hopefully tomorrow. See you guys then. Peace.